All right, using the map. So we know that 0 and 360, because if we go all the way around, it'll end up being 360 degrees, but if we don't go anywhere, it'll be 0. So if we continue around to the right, it'd be 90. Continue around, bottom is always going to be 180. Continue around, that's going to be 270. And what I just did was clockwise. So by going to the right and going around, it's going to start at 0, go to 90, 180, 270, 360. If I go counterclockwise, it'll be 0, 90, 180, 270, back to 360. Now we need to be able to put the types of coordinates that are going to be in each of the quadrants. The easiest ones to start with are what they actually are to begin with. These have not changed. These are the original types of coordinates that you'd find in quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. Then we know that they get reversed in quadrant 2 and 4. The only difference is as you go around counterclockwise, it's going to be a negative y and a negative x. That's the hardest part of being able to make the map. Now, reading the map. If I'm in quadrant 1 and I want to go 90 degrees, that's going to put me one quadrant away. Okay, so I'm going clockwise. Going clockwise because I'm going from top right to bottom right, like around like a clock. That means if I were to go a 90-degree rotation, that I would end up with coordinates like this. Okay, so clockwise 90 degrees would be y negative x. If I were to go around from quadrant 1, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, it's going to be negative x, negative y. And continue the same pattern, 90, 180, 270. And then go, of course, from quadrant 1, 90, 180, 270, 360. I'm going to be right back where I was. The 360 and 0 look exactly the same. Let's go ahead and do that same thing counterclockwise. So if I were in quadrant 1 and I went 90 degrees, that's just over 1. Then it would be a negative y x. If I were to go 90 degrees, 180 degrees, it'd be the same. And that means it's checking out, it's doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Because 0 to 180 is just directly across from it. So we know that this is always going to be our 180. 90, 180, 270. And then we know our original is always going to be x and y. All right, cool. Now I've got the table. This is the thing that you should be focusing on. Once you get the table, you don't want to focus on anything else. The map means nothing now. We're going to get rid of the map. I don't want anything to do with this map. So we did all the map stuff to be able to make the table. If for some reason you're able to memorize the table, that's wonderful. Okay, so like how do I use the table? Let's say I have a little triangle right here. Okay, go ahead and write down the coordinates so we could see. A is 2, 2, B is 3, 4, C is 4, 2. Okay. We want a 90-degree rotation clockwise. That means I'm going right here. So y negative x. A prime, b prime, c prime. Okay, so y, whatever my y value is, so 2, 4, 2. That's going to be my first value. Just using my table. And then opposite of my x value. X value is 2, so negative 2. 3, so negative 3. 4, negative 4. And say that you already had a negative here and you're looking for the opposite of it, it would be positive. So you're not going to have a negative stay a negative if it's telling you to do the opposite. So think of the negative marks as taking the opposite of the coordinate that you have. Okay, so I'm going to plot these now. 2, negative 2, that's a prime. 4, negative 3, that's b prime. And then 2, negative 4, that's c prime. And you can see that we have a 90-degree rotation of triangle ABC into A prime, B prime, C prime. That is simply just using the rule clockwise. Now let's go ahead and say I want to take ABC and do it counterclockwise. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the coordinates. And it doesn't have to start in quadrant 1. So just keep in mind wherever the pre-image is, wherever you're wanting to move it. So it doesn't matter if it's in quadrant 2, you're taking the original coordinates and using the table. So if it says rotate counterclockwise 180 degrees, regardless of where the coordinates are, where they originally start, all you do is go over to the table, counterclockwise, use this key on your coordinates. So I'd be taking the opposite of my x and the opposite of my y. So let's take a look at a double prime. B double prime, and C double prime. We said that we were going to go 90-degree rotation, so each quadrant's 90 degrees. Okay, so if I'm going here counterclockwise, that'd be the next quadrant. If I was going here counterclockwise 180, it'd be 90, 180. From here to counterclockwise 270, 90, 180, 270. Because if I go all the way back around, it's 360. So let's take a look. And I said counterclockwise 90. So that means we're going to go negative y, so the opposite of our y value. Let's do that first. So that's negative 2, negative 4, negative 2. And then just take the x value and rewrite it. 2, 3, 4. I'm not doing any math. I'm simply using the table. Literally taking the original coordinates, seeing what the question's asking, rotate triangle ABC counterclockwise 90 degrees. Counterclockwise 90 degrees, doing that to the coordinates. So let's do 2, negative 2, 2, negative 4, 3, and negative 2, 4. You can see that it's a rotation to the left instead of going around to the right like a clock. But the whole idea is, did it turn 90 degrees? Because if it were upside, if you think about B being on the bottom, it would be a 180-degree rotation of that. So now we're looking at a 90-degree rotation, which flipped it on its side. Perfect, because B is over here. And whenever we rotated clockwise, B was over there. Check, check. So we can keep doing this, keep repeating it. The table is the key to absolutely everything that you're going to do with rotations. It's a cheat sheet. This is a chart of the rules that you'll use, and you'll use them literally, regardless of where the coordinates are. Clockwise 90 degrees, all you have to do is use that rule. If it's counterclockwise 270, regardless of what your coordinates are. Take your y value, put it first, and take the opposite of your x value.